Hi guys, German Prepper here. The war in Europe's east consumes more people, war machines and munitions by the day in ever more fierce battles, and yet it is certain this time right now will be remembered as the relative calm before the horror of all-out war was truly unleashed. Listen carefully to the direct sources I have for you today. They will leave you in no doubt about the potential of what lies ahead of us. Here is your latest update. The United Kingdom Ministry of Defence has released this short but telling intelligence report on the situation at the Ukrainian fronts. In the last 3 days, Russia has likely developed its probing attacks around the towns of Pavlivka and Vuhledar into a more concerted assault. The settlements lie 50 kilometers southwest of Donetsk city, and Russia previously used the 155th Naval Infantry Brigade in an unsuccessful assault on the same area in November 2022. Elements of the 155th are again involved as part of an at least brigade-sized force, which has likely advanced several hundred meters beyond the small Kashlahak River, which marked the front line for several months. Russian commanders are likely aiming to develop a new axis of advance into Ukrainian-held Donetsk Oblast, and to divert Ukrainian forces from the heavily contested Bakhmut sector. There is a realistic possibility that Russia will continue to make local gains in the sector. However, it is unlikely that Russia has sufficient uncommitted troops in the area to achieve an operationally significant breakthrough. Let me elaborate on that, guys. Russian Federation forces, spearheaded in many instances by the PMC Wagner and Chechen Akhmet Spetsnaz, are making steady advances into long-held Ukrainian defensive lines, taking a number of previously impregnable settlements over the last few days. Whatever the spin, this does not bode well for the current Ukrainian war effort and has alarmed Western backers, hence the urgent escalation in weapon deliveries we have been reporting on. In a separate but related note, the UK MOD has announced Ukrainian tank crews have now arrived in the UK to undergo training on the Challenger 2 tank. Alexei Danilov, Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, has given a grave warning on what he expects from the conflict over the coming weeks. Russia is preparing for maximum escalation. It is gathering everything possible, doing drills and training. I can say that we are not excluding any scenario in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Traditionally, they have tried to do things on dates. The Ukrainians come from a similar culture as well in that regard. But I haven't seen anything from either side to suggest they do have plans afoot. Danilov adds, "Of course, we went through an extensive difficult period, but I'm conscious the main fights are yet to come. And they will happen this year, within 2 to 3 months. These will be defining months in the war." Sébastien Lecornu, French Defense Minister, has announced the transfer of 12 Caesar self-propelled howitzers to Ukraine, financed from a €200 million fund approved by the French Parliament. France will also send 150 military specialists to Poland to train 600 Ukrainian soldiers per month, with the aim of training a total of 2,000 Ukrainian soldiers by summer. Additionally, France and Australia have agreed to together supply Ukraine with 155mm shells of joint production. Viktor Orban, Hungarian Prime Minister, has discussed the conflict in neighbouring Ukraine on local radio, displaying some cutting insight into the true scope of the growing conflict. How did it start? It started with the Germans saying they were willing to send helmets, because they wouldn't send lethal tools into the war, since that would mean participation in it. This is where we started. Now we're at battle tanks, and they're already talking about planes. We are not in danger of being swept into it, but others are not only in danger, but have already been swept away. And then there are the statements about whether they are at war with Russia or not, which is a ridiculous situation, because who is at war is not a question of statements. If you are sending weapons, if you are financing the entire annual budget of one of the warring parties, if you promise new weapons shipments, more and more modern weapons, then you can say whatever you want. No matter what you say, you are in the war. Moreover, it is the other side you are supplying arms against while supporting their opponent that actually chooses to see you as being at war with them, no matter what you say. That might be a controversial statement, guys, but I absolutely agree with it. President Donald J. Trump has again commented on the conflict in Europe, this time while on campaign tour in Columbia, South Carolina. Through weakness and incompetence, Joe Biden has brought us to the brink of World War III. As president, I will bring back peace through strength. If I was president, there would not have been a war with Russia and Ukraine. Zero chance. It wouldn't have happened. President Trump adds, even now, despite tremendous loss of lives and destruction of much of that country, I would have a peace deal negotiated within 24 hours. You could make a peace deal. You could make a deal for both right now. Cutting comments there, guys. If only those in power now shared President Trump's outlook regarding the ever-escalating war, so many lives might yet be saved. A question for you all now to end. Do you believe a negotiated peace to end the war in Europe is still possible, or is it all now far too late? As always, looking forward to reading your answers. If you can, please support the channel by taking membership. It really makes a difference. And if you're able, share this video. Keep prepping, guys. Cheers for now.